Why is it that when people go on a path of healing, spirituality, self-awareness, meditation journeys and things like that, why is it that we always get to a point where we need to do the shadow work, the inner work, the really deep stuff that most of the time most people don't want to look at, and they don't want to be aware of because they just want to keep hidden behind the ego of who they are, of the identification of form of who they believe they are. And the reason for that is, this came up in meditation this morning. The reason for that is that we go through exactly the same process as what the earth is going through with regards to the 3D, 5D, the consciousness split between the 3D realm, the 5D realm. If you're not aware of what it is, your 3D realm is basically where you're living in the third dimensional density of fear, of necessity, of possession, and needing those three-dimensional things to keep you happy. When you start moving into the fourth and fifth dimensional, where you start wanting to bring more love into your life, want to just share more love, want to follow a life of compassion, of understanding, of others, of the world around us, of nature, of everything, and knowing that there is a deeper intrinsic connection between ourselves and everything else. So we have a lot more power and control internally waiting to be discovered, but many of us are aware of that and are on that journey. So what is happening with us is we are going through exactly the same process as the earth, going through the vibrational changes, the vibrational shifts. You too are going through the same changes, the same shifts. So once of you would have been in these three-dimensional lower vibrational patterns of fear, of lack, of self-worth, and all these lower vibrational feelings and frequencies that many of us have been through, many of us are ascending from. And now you're going through we're going through the stages of split. So we start to split and we see chaos in ourselves, we see chaos in the world around us, and we can't kind of like work it out. So we then have to go on to this, what's deemed usually as shadow work, and looking at pain body. That's one of the expressions that Eckhart Tolle uses. And really doing the deep inner work of self-analysis and trying to find out who we are, what's holding us back, what these emotions are, where they're coming from. And the more refined and in tune you are with your body, and the more refined and more aware you are of yourself, your self-awareness, will make it a lot easier. But at the very early stage, it's very difficult. We kind of want to, there's a part of us that wants to be stuck in the identity of suffering, in the identity of lack, because we think the more that we stay there, that something will help us. Something external will bring us joy, will bring us happiness. A person, we need someone in our lives to bring us this happiness, when in actual fact the happiness is already there. It's being covered up by programming, conditioning, ego, programming, conditioning, ego, and it goes through the layers, and layers of all the stuff that we carry with us from previous lives. If you believe that, I personally do. I call them parallel lives, but past lives. We carry a lot of that in our DNA as well, where we bring a lot of ancestral trauma into this present life as well. So that there is a lot of stuff that we do carry, that we have to be aware of, and that we have to bring healing to. So this split that we're going through currently, a lot of us are seeing chaos in ourselves. A lot of us are dealing with mental health problems, are dealing with addictions, are dealing with awakening. You're in a place where you don't know what is going on. You don't know yourself anymore. You're going through this split. There is chaos internally. And from chaos is, it's a bit like, if you think of a bushfire is anarchy. It's absolute chaos. There was fire ravaging through the forest, through the grass, through the undergrowth, killing off so much wildlife. But after the fires, new growth comes through, and it's exactly the same with you. You have to go through this purging. You have to go through this burning off of this old energy that you've been stuck in this paradigm of, and you're coming into a new identity of yourself. You're coming into a new reality of who you actually are, and not just the understanding that you are this physical being with a name, with a social security number or a national insurance number, with a job and a title, and that is not who you are anymore. And this is the movement, this is the paradigm that we're moving into. We're moving beyond the three-dimensional earthly realm of what we perceived is who we are. But there is part of us that also has to kind of like keep in this level, to keep ourselves grounded in the physical. Because if we're constantly in a high vibrational way of being, it can be very detrimental as well on that level to be in such high frequencies for long periods of time. So it's a balancing act. But that is exactly what is going on with us. It's exactly what's going on with Earth. It's exactly what's going on with everything around us. And from a lot of podcasts and seminars that I've seen from various speakers, Dolores Cannon was very much into this sort of stuff through her hypnosis clients, where they were talking about the new earth and the fifth dimensional split, the 3D, how it's falling away, and we're creating a new earth. And I don't think it's a sense of a new earth that is going to be physically manifested and all of a sudden it'll just be there. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take I would say probably another 100 years or so, or more, before all this stuff starts to actually come into fruition. But just because it's in 100 years time or whatever doesn't mean that what we're doing now isn't intrinsically important to that movement of energy. Because the energy that you have now, the energy that you create, the healing that you do now, if you reincarnate back to Earth and you need to learn some life lessons and that you haven't learned in this life, then that vibration, that frequency that the Earth will move to and gravitate towards, it will make that journey a lot easier for you in the long run. So that's something also to be aware of, is the journeys, not all of them, but may get easier as we shift. And there will be a lot of people that will remain in the three-dimensional because that's where they feel safe, and that's also fine. And again, that's something to do with balance. We need to have this balance. We need to have this split. It's yin and yang. It's black and white. It's light and shade. There always needs to be that. But I just thought it was something really interesting to just to put out there, and maybe people haven't thought of ourselves as the same as the Earth, because we think of ourselves as separate entities to the Earth, but the Earth is a living organism. It is it's nature, and the spirit realm, the human 3D realm, nature itself coexists in this beautiful, beautiful place of change, of dynamics, of emotions, of feelings. And it's only through emotions and feelings and the healing work that we actually start to evolve spiritually on a soul level, when we come to understand ourselves fully on a deeper level, on an energetic level, and on that spiritual level of what we truly are. So just a few thoughts for today. Maybe a bit deep for some, maybe not deep enough for others, but we're getting there.